I had a couple of cool conversations recently. One was started off with Scott Dolph, and we started talking about kids getting into martial arts, and I was saying it just seems younger and younger and younger. When I had my school, we did have little dragons and some 3 and 4 year olds, but it was like mostly kids that were 8 to 12 years old. And now it seems like more and more kids are getting there. I mean, Sal's got diaper dragons that are instead of little dragons, they're diaper dragons, and he's got class
16 months. I started my son at 16 months.
Did you? All right. So,
yeah.
So Scott and I were talking about that, and we were just saying how the benefits for kids that age are totally different. If you start thinking of Zig Ziglar and Bob Alexander, they wrote a book called Raising Positive Kids in a Negative World. And that was all about kids that when they get to first grade, they have high self-confidence. By the time they get third grade, they have negative self-confidence because of the influence around other kids and being negative and things like that. But that's a lot older than the kids we're really getting into our schools now. We're getting the kids that are 3 to 6 years old. So some of those traditional benefits just don't apply. So when you're talking about setting goals, well, setting goals is pretty important, but for a 4-year-old or 5-year-old, I don't know if that's on the top of the mom's list. Since the kid's that young, he's still well protected, bullying is probably not on the top of the list. We started thinking about why do people start that age? And he was saying a lot of it is just moms. Moms want to kind of get out of the house, get a break a couple times a week. And especially for the kids that are homeschooled or not going to public school yet, they're just looking for a break. So if they can get an hour break during the week, a lot of those parents just want to do it. And they want their kids to get some type of exercise and get out of the house. So let me share my screen. I want to use this as more of a kind of a mastermind type group. Hold on, I'll get there shortly. So I was hoping to get some people talking back and forth on this one. So I put forward a 6-year-old. Zach, what do you call these kids?
We do, ours is 3 to 5-year-olds, and we call them little dragons. And we do an 8-week rotation. So each week they earn a stripe depending on what that week is, whether it's falls and rolls, stranger danger, coordination. And that cycle rotates every 8 weeks. At the end, once they get 8 stripes, we graduate them to their next little dragon belt.
Dave, what do you call them?
We call it dynamites. And it started out 4 to 6, made a few exceptions, 3 to 6. Was it Friday? Had a 2-year-old in here. So we're just kind of, depends on the kid, but dynamite.
Where do you think these kids come from? I mean, how are they hearing about your school?
I would guess social media, Wi-Fi, online search.
So, social media website. Well, what do you think, Zach?
We, in our area, there's almost nothing for 3-year-olds to do. So we do a lot of EDDMs with the get students at the Little Dragon EDDM card.
Okay.
So we do a lot of those, and we also do a lot of classes at daycares promoting it.
So okay, that one interests me. How do you get into daycares, and what do you do in the daycares?
We just go do a free class for all of them. We go in and talk to the director, and they're always, I mean, I'd say 80 to 90% of them are thrilled for us to take those kids away from the teachers for 30 minutes.
Okay. Do the kids get anything to take home to the parents? Or is there any way you?
Yeah, we send home information, letting the parents know their kids, did a class today, and then information about that class and the benefits they'll see from it.
So when you go to a daycare, you say, we'll take over your class for a while. We'll teach them some martial arts, have some fun. So everything we request is that all the kids take something home?
Exactly.
Okay, so that's your trade-off. Instead of paying you, they're allowing you to target their people for martial arts.
Right.
I know when I talked to Valerie belongs to a lot of social media groups. She has twins, so she belongs to groups called Parents of Multiples. And so I've never really done any marketing. I've got to ask her about that, how you'd market on these groups. I don't know if you have parents that already belong to those groups. Seems like it would be easy for Ben Cohen, who teaches my grandkids, to talk to Val, and Val posts some things about their martial arts experience at Ben Cohen, so he could get some publicity out of that. So that'd be just like, I guess, social media groups.
Yeah, a lot of those groups won't let you post any ads, but parents can talk about it.
Okay, so it wouldn't be ads, but a parent could say that their kid just got their yellow belt martial art.
Right.
Okay, cool. You guys are in the schools. What are the age of these parents? What are the age of the moms?
Ours are 20s to mid 30s.
Like, so 27 to 35?
Right.
I would agree with that.
Can I ask, Zach, so what you do is you go to the daycare once a week, or how long do you do that for? What do you do again?
We just do it for the 3-year-old class.
So they just
You do it during their time at daycare, right?
Right.
And then what? What's the process? You teach a 30-minute class once a week for a month, and then you have them come over?
No, we just do it one time.
Okay.
so it's almost
And
like a person's
It's
coming
just
in.
a commercial.
It's basically like a one-time intro class at their daycare facility, and then you give them basically passes to come to your school.
Right.
Okay, got it.
So if you're going to talk to a mom that's 30 years old, what are the benefits for their kids?
Coordination,
They
concentration, helping prepare it. Our goal is to prepare them for 5K kindergarten.
So
Following directions.
socialization, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. Paying attention, following directions, and listening, and paying attention, follow directions. Those 3 things.
So pay attention, follow directions. What I miss, Sal?
Right there with that card.
Pay attention.
Okay, this is what I was kind of interested in with when I was talking to Scott Dollo. The benefits for the parents. So now you have a mom. This is what I'm kind of thinking. You got a mom sitting at home, and she's like, "Okay, I love my kids, but it's a little bit tough. I mean, they're kind of getting on my nerves. It'd really be nice if I can take them out sometime, a couple times a week." So what would the benefits be for the mom? So if we're advertising, it's a 4-year-old, so not going to be reading an ad say I'm going to get better coordinated and things like that. What would other benefits be for moms?
Listening skills.
It's socialization, coordination, you know, the parents can actually, in my Diaper Dragons class, they do the class with them. That's for 18 months to 3 years old. So they get to participate too. And literally, it's the beginning of learning how to be disciplined, confident, and persistent, and being focused.
I've got a sheet right here that I always thought was pretty good. And as far as like the benefits, I always just say, I always say it's fast-paced, fun-filled, educational, motivational. Parents love watching their kids learn and grow in a positive, well-disciplined, encouraging atmosphere. Each class filled with exciting, high-energy drills that are carefully designed to develop important gross motor skills and life skills. Classes start simple, become more challenging. All lessons taught with positive recognition, reward, and reinforcement for effort, skill, manners, sportsmanship, and respectful treatment of others. Self-confidence, self-esteem are built in a gradual, step-by-step fashion. Martial arts training builds a strong foundation that can be easily applied in academic, sports, arts, social settings outside the martial arts school. So then I highlight gross motor skill development, positive behavioral changes, listening skills development, following direction, getting along with others, an age-specific curriculum that allows them to progress at their own pace, things like that.
I think those are all really good. Those are benefits for martial arts students. I'm not sure that they're all benefits for the real little guys. I mean, I think they are for kids. This is, I think, maybe what I'm thinking of is benefits for dragons. And this is what I think I started brainstorming this weekend. Benefits for I was thinking maybe we should, instead of advertising for dragons, we should advertise for mothers of dragons. You guys have seen that movie. I started thinking, I was watching my grandkids take class, and my daughter's sitting there watching class, and she's got a T-shirt on that says Mothers of Dragons. So she calls herself a mother of a dragon. So I think when I was getting with Scott Dolph, we were kind of talking about what's the benefits of a mother of a dragon. And he goes, these younger women, they love their kids, but they want free time. So free time twice a week would be a benefit for a mom. So they want their kids to do good, but they want that. Dave pointed out that the parents can watch, so a viewing area would be a benefit for the mom. So the mom doesn't just drop the kids off, but she gets a chance not to teach her kids or anything, but at least watch her kids. I started thinking about Tom Baker. Tom Baker has a coffee bar. And in his coffee bar, he's got a Keurig that has like I don't know how many cups of water. So he fills it with water, and then he has the Keurig cups, and people come over there, and he's got the little things of creamers, he's got stirrers, he's got a trash can, he's got extra water there. It's a real nice setup. And parents can grab a coffee, and they can sit at by his half wall. By his half wall, he has like a counter, so parents can sit in a chair, and on the counter they can put their coffee. He also has 3 or 4 high tops, so if parents want to sit behind the people sitting at the half wall, they can sit at high tops, see over those people, and have a cup of coffee when they watch a class. I mean, to a mom, it's like, do I bring the kids to karate or do I go to Starbucks? Well, pretty cool if they can do martial arts and I can have like a Starbucks experience at the same time. And Tom has chargers. So he's got phone chargers all along the top of this counter. So parents can put their phone right on there and charge their phones. So I started thinking that would be a benefit for a mother of a dragon. I guess free Wi-Fi, because they're not going to all watch their kids, as we know. So having free Wi-Fi where they could either talk to one of their friends, go over social media, that would be a benefit. I don't think we're just this is a little bit different type of thinking, but I think it's the type of thinking we can really go for little dragons. I kind of liked Zach's curriculum because it was this would be another thing. So now we have the benefits of the mothers, and I can actually see an ad with all these little dragons, and it's okay, attention mothers of dragons. Anyone who watched that TV show would be attracted to that, and they would just kind of see that. Maybe you could have a picture of a woman with her kid, and she's got a T-shirt on, Mothers of Dragons. And so kind of now you're grabbing their attention. So if your kids are looking for coordination, socialization, you want them to follow directions, pay attention before they go into first grade, we have our Little Dragon program. Mothers of our Little Dragons, so this week into Mothers of Dragons, have the following benefits. You have free time twice a week. We have a special comfortable viewing area for all the moms. We have a coffee bar with free coffee. You charge your phone, get free Wi-Fi. That'd be a cool thing. Do I go to a dance studio and sit on a wooden bench outside while my kid's in class, or can I be comfortable watching them? Plus, now you have a mom talking to her friends and says, I'm doing this martial arts club. I just love it. Now, I watch my kids do it, and they have some coffee. I made some good friends there. So I think the benefits for Mothers of Dragons would be kind of cool. No, it doesn't really help Dave, who does Dynamites, but that's an easy change. What do you think, Zach?
I like that. It's a wide open market, I think. So many parents that you talk to don't relate martial arts to that young of an age.
Yeah, and I was talking to Scott Dolph is the owner of Rainmaker. He was saying these are easy sign-ups because the kids aren't quitters yet. So it's like when you have a 12-year-old that may have done baseball, football, and dance, and now you do martial arts. Well, he quits everything, but the kids aren't quitters yet because they're too young and they haven't really done anything yet. So the parents are more likely to sign up with them. I think as far as when I say parents are more likely to sign up because they have less objections because, again, their kids aren't quitters. So time's not really a challenge. I don't think money's really a challenge yet for those parents because they're used to spending a lot on kids. I know when I take the grandkids to a place like an indoor trampoline park, that's $35 for 3 or 4 hours. So you're talking to a few kids, you're talking $100 for a couple hours, and martial arts isn't even close to that expensive. I think my challenge is I think all these are really cool ideas, and I think we can get some good marketing, even those like Be Great Martial Arts on the front, and then Mothers of Dragons on the back. I think moms would wear something like that and be another conversation starter. We talked about T-shirts as far as marketing our school. Every time I don't have a T-shirt with writing on today, but if I wear a T-shirt either for my dog rescue, if I wear a T-shirt for Cuba for Christ, the mission I was on, it always gets into conversations. People always ask, what's that, or why are you wearing that? And so now you got all these moms on. They got a Mothers of Dragons, and they got a cool logo on there. Person goes, what's that, from the TV show? No. My kid's one of the dragons at Be Great Martial Arts.
Right. And for us, of course, it depends on your market, but all of ours are before 5 o'clock. So our Little Dragons are, they alternate days, but they start at 4 o'clock, and then the Little Dragons leadership is after that or before it, depending on the day. But they're done at 5 o'clock. Yeah. So it's a whole window that you have access before that prime time in most schools.
Yeah. I was at Chris Gates' school, and I think 9 o'clock in the morning 8 o'clock in the morning he had yoga class. 9 o'clock in the morning, he had kickboxers, and 10 o'clock, he had Little Dragons. He taught more people before 10:30 a.m. than a lot of people teach between 4 and 6 o'clock at night.
That's awesome.
It is. Well, you got to figure, if you really talk about like the age group that Sal is talking about, really young ones at 3 and 4 years old, they're not in school yet. A lot of kids aren't in school, don't have working moms because their moms are taking time off before they rejoin the workforce. So there's really no excuse of not starting an early class.
Right.
I think it's, this is like nothing earth-shattering, except that we're no longer targeting kids for benefits. We're talking about parents for something for the positive for their kids to do, and then enjoying free time. And they know their kids are getting something positive, and they're having a good experience at the same time. They're not sitting in the car or sitting on a wooden bench. They're kind of enjoying this experience. Getting them on the floor every once in a while, that would be a benefit. But expanding your times, that's another option. I think we just got to really change the way we're marketing. We're no longer marketing for that laundry list of benefits, but we're just marketing for the experience for the kids and the experience for the mothers, and directly add directly towards the mothers and not just martial arts in general. And then curriculum.
And for that class is our curriculum prepares your child for school.
Curriculum prepares them for school. I think that's real good. I also think that the curriculum has to be martial arts based. I like a lot of these things, like Steve Blitz does that ninja tricks where they do some obstacles. But I think if we're going to continue getting the money that we're getting for kids' classes, it's got to be educational and martial arts. We start thinking about, I talked to some of these guys in the Bible Belt, like where Zach is. Their kids are getting taught family values at home. They're going to church and learning church values. Well, martial arts kind of goes along with the family values and the church values. So we're supporting all the values that you're teaching your kids at home. They're getting at church. We're doing the same through martial arts. But at martial arts, now they're getting these other things. So I think it's got to be traditional based, at least in skills, the life skills. I still think that they have to learn to kick, block, and punch. A long time ago, there was a website called Brain Gym. The whole idea with Brain Gym is a study that was done that talks about why kids get coordinated and how kids get smarter. We did this, we called it Brain Dojo back in the day when I had my school. So when kids' minds work, they have a left side of their brain and a right side of the brain. And if you're just doing something on the right side or something on the left side, kids can look pretty coordinated, but it's passing from one side to the other. And you really have to train right side, left side, left side, which is part of martial arts. When you're doing punches, you're doing right, left side, left side. If you're doing
Right.
You can get my dogs barking, Zach. Zeus, quiet. So it's like if you're you have a hedge between you and your neighbor's house. If you keep visiting your neighbor and your neighbor keeps visiting you, pretty soon that hedge is knocked down and you have communication. Same thing what happens to the brain. So when kids are doing martial arts, they're doing left side, right side, right side. That's why when you have a little kid and he does nunchakos, some kids can make a good circle on the side. You tell them to do a figure eight, and all of a sudden it looks like this. They just can't figure it out. So if we're going to teach the kids all this stuff, like following directions, getting them smarter, improving their coordination and their motor skills, I really believe it's got to be traditional martial arts. It can't just be running and jumping over blocks. I think traditional martial arts, and that's one of those things that you have to educate the parents on. I don't know if you have to do long forms and things like that, but I think martial arts is really the skill. I don't even know what Jeannie and I were listening to yesterday. We were listening to some radio station, and they were talking about right side, left side of the brain hemispheres and talking about kids getting more of an education. Melody Schulman, when she did her skills program was built a lot on that. As good as she did, it wasn't really rocket science, because a lot of schools did this even back in the 90s. They would have the kids do right side, left side. They would learn to count in English, then they had to count in Japanese, and they had to count in Spanish. Well, now you're doing right side, left side, but your brain is also on something else, so it becomes more automatic. So I may not know how to teach Spanish, but as I'm going back and forth and I'm now counting in Spanish, I'm doing right side, left side. That's just so powerful for kids getting all these motor skills and life skills. So,
Yeah, what on that 8 weeks rotation we do, each week building up to that 8th week, we're working a part of a real just very basic form so that by their 8th week, they've got the whole form.
Yep.
For graduation.
When you start thinking of more traditional forms, it's always like go to your left, do this, go to your right, do that. Even Mike Chat's form, go to your left side, do this, go to your right side, do that, chop, punch, chop. But it's the same type of thing. So I think we have to keep with the life skills. I don't think we can shortchange it and say, okay, we're going to call it karate, but we're really not going to do karate. What we're going to do is run through hoops and jump through hoops all day. That's not martial arts. I think it's real important that to keep our industry going, that we don't separate it and blend it into something that it's not.
And plus, when they age out of that program and move to your regular leadership program, you want them to have some sort of base to move in there with.
Yeah, because now they're getting into your program where you're developing them into instructors. When we say developing black belts, we kind of talked about that the other week. We're not in the job of developing black belts, we're in the job of building instructors. So if we start thinking of that, we're kind of building our future at the same time.
Good stuff.
All right. Yeah, at least get everyone thinking. I started talking to Mark and Val at Get Students today and start talking about these type of benefits. So don't be surprised if you see some rack cards and some Facebook ads geared towards mothers of dragons and not just the little dragons. So. Very cool, guys. I'm thinking of doing, I kind of mentioned to Zach that I would like to do a Black Belt Schools International, one more instructor training. And so I'm thinking of the very beginning of November, right down here in West Palm Beach, Florida. I found a real nice school in town. Guy who owns his name is Jack Lord. It's called All Star Martial Arts. And he's willing to host it. So, we may be doing it right down here, which would be nice. November, it'd be nice to get your last suntan for the season. Come down to Florida. So I'll be putting information on that. It'll probably be Derek Frater from Texas. So probably coming in. Derek and I work real good together as far as instructor college. So we're thinking teaming up and doing that. But that'll be the last Black Belt Schools International event for the year. It'd be a great time to get your certificates for being an instructor. We all good?
Is this Zach, the one I talked to from Black Belt School International?
Yes.
That is me, John
John
Karate. How are you?
Yeah. We got to talk. Must call me after, whenever you have a chance.
All right. Okay, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Myself and William. Have a great day. Thank you.
Bye.